The old man crossed in the twilight dim, the sullen stream had no fear for him. But he turned when safe on the other side, and built a bridge to span the tide. Old man, said a fellow pilgrim near, you are wasting strength with building here. Your journey will end with the ending day. You never again must pass this way. You have crossed the chasm deep and wide. Why build you the bridge at the eventide? The builder lifted his old gray head. Good friend, in the path I have come, he said, there followeth after me today a youth whose feet must pass this way. He too must cross in the twilight dim. Good friend, I am building the bridge for him. That's perfect for them. Okay. Now, I was speaking with my mother, and I was telling her, I grew up in two places, I feel. At my church, I went to Community Church of Norfolk, and Pastor Duras had been my pastor for, well, he served the church about 48 years, and he passed away, and I was asked to do his casket spray, and I considered that just a wonderful honor. And when I didn't even pay attention to the roses, and this is how God is in all the details, it was exactly the amount of years that he preached was in the I just had put roses in there, and so I have prayed for days of saying exactly what I should say in honor of them, because I feel like I'm not just speaking for myself, but I'm speaking for so many of my friends who have messaged me to say things for them as well. But I do consider this like one of the greatest honors, because they haven't just influenced me, they are a part of me. And I have been a Norfolk public school teacher for 25 years, and I've gotten Teacher of the Year, and I've been in the newspaper a couple times in the news, and you know what? They can take credit for that because they were such wonderful teachers, and I'm just going way off of this. This is just all coming from the heart. But let me go back so I don't miss anything. I remember all aspects of my nurturing, and I call it nurturing because it was more than teaching. I remember the days of raising my flag for help. Brother Mac was really good at math, and I remember when I graduated, I happened to have the highest SAT scores, you told me, but you also told me I had a big head when they were measuring for the cap and gown. But it must have been all that good math I learned. So you're right, I probably can calculate that. And I remember his humor in that. I remember the extraordinary bike rides you all would take us on over to Yorktown. I mean, so you kept us physically fit too. So they're educating us, they're keeping us physically fit. And then sports. I feel like I've had the greatest sports career with basketball and volleyball. And then these kind people would have all of us over to their house for fun and games and food, and they didn't do it once, twice. I mean, they were always doing it. So who would do that? Who would open their house up like they did? And I always felt like Sister Mac was like Jiminy Cricket because if I needed some kind of conviction brought to my soul, she had a way of saying it that I would listen and I would get it. So I want to thank her for that. But the most important part, in addition to the academics and all the sports and recreation, is the spiritual aspect. That's what I have said to my mom, more than anything academically that I could have ever learned. I'm so glad I learned more spiritually, because the things of this earth are passing, and that is lasting. And the devotions, you both gave such wonderful devotions, and I can still see you up there sitting at my little office watching you, and the scripture passages, they really made you learn, and so did Sister Oletsky, and I appreciate that, because those verses, I can still quote those passages, and they have helped me in good times and in bad. Just to be able to, if ye then be risen with Christ, seek those things which are above, where Christ sits on the right hand of God. Set your affections on things above, not on things of the earth, for ye are dead and your life is hid with Christ in God. I mean, there's so many of them that just come to me, and I always think, my grandmother, when she was, before she died, she lost her vision. And I've always thought to myself, if there's a day that I can't read the Bible, then I will be able to still have these passages that are embedded in my heart.
Amen.
Amen.
Let's see. They were always there for me. If anything, I'm very thankful for the family that I had, but they were always there for me if I ever needed them. And so are you. I think about Abraham with them. Abraham was called to an unknown land. They came to here. Thank you, Brother and Sister May, for getting them here. And they did just like, when God took Abraham out and showed him the stars, and he said, your people are going to be greater than that. Well, that's the students' lives that you've taught. Because if you take the 25 years that I taught and everybody that I have had in my class, and then multiply that by all the other lives that you have taught, it's just, you can't count it. It's just like the stars. So I thought about Abraham and Sarah with Brother and Sister Mac in those two different ways, that not only did you leave and come here, and you're so humble about it. And that was the biggest thing that struck my heart in wanting to convey, that they are doing this all for the glory of God. Amen. They're such humble people, and this particular year, I remember when people would say to me, well, you're going to get a crown in heaven, and I used to say, well, I just want to see Jesus. But then, just this year, someone said to me, well, don't you want to be able to lay something at Jesus' feet? And then it took on a whole new meaning. Of course. Well, they're going to have a mother load to lay at Jesus' feet. And I just love you two so much. You know I do. And thank you for all that you've instilled in me. I love you. Again. And now I'm going to read, I did reach out to some of the students of the school in my era, and I want to read what some of them said. This is from Shelley Woods Merritt. She said, oh wow, I didn't know they were retiring. Please send a message from me that I've never forgotten the influence they had on my life. I appreciate it so much more now that I'm grown with children of my own. The time, sacrifice, dedication, and love they gave to so many, day in and day out. We were all their kids. And I do. You feel like a set of parents. They related to us with such a talent that is rare. I could go on and on. So many memories. I'll cherish them always and forever grateful for their example and influence, praying they will be abundantly blessed in this next season of their life. Okay, that was from Shelley Woods. Shelley Woods Merritt. Okay, Connie Bruce. She said, give them all my love. Give them my love. So glad they were such a special part of my life growing up. They were loving and encouraging. Awesome you went to challenge me. Hugs to both of you. Okay, Leonard. Leonard Frazier, can't forget Leonard. Awesome. Tell them that I miss them and all the fun we had together during our basketball season, then sliding down the hill on my back during the snow. Mac would understand that. And all the foosball playing we did, and for Sister Mac, all the stuff I got away with, like putting on cheerleading outfits and prancing around and never got caught. But in general, the really good times I had there, and those things I'll never forget. And last but not least, tell Larry, ooh, Scooby-Doo. That's Leonard for you. Okay, Kelly Moses Wheeler. She said to tell them congratulations and thank them for being such a positive influence in so many lives. And other people, I know they're going to be sad that they didn't get my message sooner, because I can tell, you know, you can always tell on Facebook Messenger if they've seen your message yet or not, and they haven't. But anyways, thank you for your time and letting me express my love and gratitude to the McMasters.
Absolutely.